Hello, welcome to this update for the Atlantic and also North America. So there are important stuff in this video for the Atlantic, including the Caribbean and also the Azores. If you are there, stay tuned and skip ahead to the severe weather if you are in the US because that's important too. So, but we'll start with the tropics here. So let's see. We have Hurricane Gabriel now. Our videos, like last videos 4 days ago about this, but now it's already a hurricane. So it's just east of Bermuda as a hurricane. And let's see, it's bringing some gusty winds and some strong rip currents. So gusty winds and showers will be possible across Bermuda today and tonight as Hurricane Gabriel passes by to the east. Swells generated by Gabriel will continue to affect Bermuda during the next few days. These swells are now reaching the east coast of the US and North Carolina and other areas of Canada. Should continue to monitor for swells and rip currents. These swells like to cause life-threatening surf rip currents. And then Gabriel's forecast to approach the Azores on Thursday. Today is already Monday. So interesting. The Azores should monitor the progress of Gabriel. So uh, please be aware there. People in the Azores will most likely be watching the European videos, but if you are there, please watch this video as well because this storm is going to affect you. We will also talk about it in the next video for Europe, but if you are there in the Azores, you really should keep watching this right now. So be careful and stay expected to reach major hurricane strength to the east of Bermuda. So please be careful the swells there and everything, and share this video of people there from the Azores. So be careful. And here, like it might go on to affect Europe in one way or another later, but we'll check that in the other video later this week for Europe. So we have these two little guys that are here next to each other in the Atlantic, these two tropical waves. One of them is already 30 and an 80% chance of formation next 2 and 7 days. And there's this sneaky guy that just popped out after it had dissipated. So it's already a medium chance, 50% next 7 days as well. So a tropical wave located 300 miles east of the Leeward Islands producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear marginally conducive for some development in the next few days as it moves west, west, northwestward. So by the later part this week, the system is expected to slow down and turn more northwestward, and a tropical depression could form near the Bahamas or Turks and Caicos later this week. But regardless of development, some gusty winds and heavy rain are, are possible in those areas there. So be careful. And there's this other one, short-term star activity associated tropical wave, located midway between the Lesser Antilles and Cabo Verde Islands, continues to increase. So environmental conditions are forecast to become more favorable for development by tomorrow, and the tropical depression likely to form Wednesday or Thursday. So everything's going to happen this week. So please be monitoring if you are there. If I were you, I would monitor this orange disturbance closely because the red one is likely to go out to sea. Just if you're in Bermuda, monitor it as well. But you still have Gabrielle to deal with in Bermuda, so focus on that first. And there's Tropical Storm Narda. The Eastern Pacific is expected to become Hurricane Narda and track westward, so keep a close eye on that as well. And but not it's going out to sea, so don't worry. Just watch for a few swells in Mexico because it's still relatively close to the coast, and still some heavy rainfall near the coast of 25 to 100 millimeters in a few spots of Guerrero and Michoacan. So be aware, but still nothing that concerning. So here there's the Atlantic. Let's see the European model for these tropical waves. So here's Gabrielle. It goes north and northeast towards the Azores, and there's these two other waves. The wave that I showed you that was in red, some 80% transformation, there has more support, the European model. And this other one still little support, but it's likely to gain support later on. So here does show the next wave likely to develop in the same area that Gabrielle did. And this other one, it doesn't have much support, but it has some members to the east to the Bahamas. So better watch like Bahamas and Turks and Caicos for heavy rain, but it doesn't have that much support. 240 hours shows a few other waves to watch, but still very little support. And in that conglomeration of members there near Bermuda should watch as well. So especially like, let's see, there's the GFS shows like, it shows some support to this future wave, like the one in red, but the one near the Bahamas showing some members near the Bahamas and Florida, but it's not showing that much support. And it shows some future waves to watch. So there, now there's the Google AI model. It does show like with the future wave. So this wave here I'm talking about now is the one further out in the Atlantic, the one with a high chance of formation. So it's expected to form and head north, eventually northeast, just like what Gabrielle is doing. So, but the Google AI model has a lot of support for this one, potentially strengthening further near Bermuda. And the other wave, this one near the Bahamas, the one in orange, does have some support as well, but not so much. It has some members over Turks and Caicos, but still monitoring because the models aren't so happy about that one. Not much support. But as you can see here, they don't have anything else in the Gulf because a few days ago they had a bunch of members of the Gulf, so that's a good sign. And but it has another wave later in the Cabo Verde. So let's see, this is the second model of the Google AI. It has the first system following the same path as Gabrielle, and then it has some members near the Bahamas as well, but not that much support. So we'll keep watching, just be aware. And Hurricane Gabrielle has some good structure, might be close to category 3 already. And then the members taken north of the Azores, but practically passing by the Azores. And some could take the remnant south towards Iberia, and others go north into Iceland. But by that time, it will be extra tropical, not strong anymore. But it might cause some gusty winds in those areas and heavy rain, especially if you head like towards France or Spain. So better monitor. It's category 3, might approach category 4 status. So it's as of now, it's already a major hurricane, and then it's expected to weaken. And by the time it reaches close to Europe, it might be extra tropical, like with some tropical storm force winds nearby. But the important thing is the Azores. So it still has a hurricane, but by the time it passes north of the Azores, a weakening hurricane into a tropical storm. So please be careful there. And some hurricane conditions are possible because they still have it as a hurricane until Friday as it passes by the Azores. So that's a concerning situation. Please be aware and warn others there. So here there's like before the severe weather. Let's see if the European model has something interesting. So it has like this goes, Gabrielle appears there, and then Thursday, it does have between Thursday and Friday, it goes right into the Azores with like 144 to 150 km per gusts. So this might be a very strong system you should worry about. So please be aware and check the link in the description. There's one link. I'll put the link for Portugal as well because the weather information the Azores is from the Portuguese Meteorological Service. And check the translation link to see the forecast. You can translate it to Portuguese. So please be aware, not just wind, but like rain too. So here's like, if I put it until Saturday, the rainfall accumulation. The worst is just north of you, but around Lagans might get more than 100 millimeters of rainfall. So you might get some nasty flooding and some moderate storm surge as well. So be careful in those areas. Please warn others there in the Azores. And here, just a general model to see the rest shows There's the European, there's Gabrielle, it goes there, passes by the Azores. The next few waves, like in this area down here is not showing much. This already like Tuesday, Wednesday, showing the heavy rain near the Bahamas, but it's not showing much. Starts developing the one by Saturday, the one there in the Central Atlantic by Saturday. Then it goes, but it doesn't really develop the one in the Bahamas. So just watch there, but we'll see. There's the GFS, it has the wave near the Bahamas, it does develop that one. So the GFS is different from the European, but it develops it east of the Bahamas into North Carolina, and then it weakens. And later, the GFS is one in the Caribbean, another one in the subtropical Atlantic. But this, you shouldn't even think about this. The GFS is crazy. But there, just watch. And then there's the Canadian, shows the disturbance north of the Lesser Antilles, forms into a tropical storm by Saturday, and passes near Bermuda. And has the other one coming off the Bahamas, potentially approaching North Carolina. So you might need to watch this in North Carolina as well. But meanwhile, be careful, some heavy rains near the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. So now for the severe weather does show three slight risks today, and this is already happening in some areas. So if you're watching this, the storms might be in front of you. So does show us a slight risk in Nebraska, one in Iowa, and spots Oklahoma, Kansas, another one in Tennessee, not Tennessee, in Kentucky to Ohio, and a marginal in Tennessee, and all the way to New York. So this shows some slight tornado threat with Oklahoma and Kansas into Iowa and Nebraska. So be aware, it's just a 2%, nothing crazy, but be aware. There's wind in all the areas and some severe hail in spots of Kansas and Nebraska, into Oklahoma as well. So be careful, some very large hail and some damaging winds. Those storms today, as you can see here, the HUR shows like some storms starting the Rockies and then they move into the plains, especially those severe ones in Nebraska and Iowa in the afternoon. So be careful, some wind damage is possible and some large hail between Oklahoma and Kansas later in the evening as well. So stay safe, and those ones in Kentucky, there into Ohio might have some damaging winds as well. So be careful, and still a slight risk for tomorrow, Tuesday, in the mid-south, some large hail, still some damaging winds. And there's actually a 5% tornado threat to Oklahoma and to Arkansas now, and Missouri, the Arctic. So 2%, so tomorrow might be an interesting day. So be careful. There's like marginal from Texas to Kentucky, marginal in the Mid-Atlantic. So let's see. Severe storms possible in the southern plains in Tennessee Valley on Tuesday, stronger thunderstorm activity across eastern Oklahoma to northeast Texas and Arkansas, where supercells capable of all hazards possible in the afternoon. So be careful tomorrow. Be weather aware as well. So here, just checking again for tomorrow if it works here. So like here, because the internet is so slow here. But let's see. Shows like uh, what's happening here. Good. This is good. So today's Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't cover so much of Tuesday because it doesn't reach that far out, but it's already showing some severe storms in eastern Oklahoma and to Arkansas Tuesday. So the Capes already shows like, especially in the afternoon, before the storms come across, 2,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram, but as the storms come, you eat the Cape up, of course. But there's plenty of instability before that. So please be careful. And just in terms of general wind gusts, some severe gusts with those storms, but also gusty winds in New Mexico. So be aware those areas. And here, just checking again by the HUR. Let's see tomorrow, especially just so you get a better idea. So significant tornado parameters, the 15th. So shows like Tuesday, This only goes until 9 Tuesday, so the 12th tomorrow afternoon. So like let's put tomorrow evening. Doesn't show that much by the evening, but like in the afternoon, does have some more elevated tornado parameters, like 2.7 close to 3 in Arkansas into eastern Oklahoma, most likely the mid-afternoon in those areas. So stay safe. There's like the updraft Halisti as well for today and tomorrow. Show like let's just put until Wednesday. Shows across Kansas, Oklahoma, but especially tomorrow, northern Arkansas should pay close attention. Some large hail as well. So stay safe in those areas. And believe it or not, we do have some risk of snow tomorrow in the Colorado Rockies, like especially some 30% to 4% of few areas, Central Rockies, and today as well in Wyoming as light risk. So be aware. And that's snow, but there's rain, shows a slight risk, Kansas, Oklahoma, and a marginal, also marginal by like day two across the south, those severe storms. Be careful, some heavy rain and some flash flooding. Also in the coast of California, still marginal day three, marginal in the southwest in California, from Texas to Pennsylvania, but still a slight around spots the Midwest there into the Mississippi Valley. So be careful. Day 4 still shows a slight in the Appalachians and a slight in Arizona and marginals around it. So still be careful. Day 5 still a slight in Arizona. So be careful. Some flash flooding. Day 1 through 7 does show some like 3 to 5 inches from Oklahoma all the way to Kentucky, especially in Tennessee and further into the northeast, even some 3 inches as far north as Vermont. So be careful next 7 days and still some strong storms, southern Florida, a day or two. And in Arizona, some monsoon moisture still around New Mexico and Arizona, a few storms, and those showers in California. So stay safe as well. And be careful. Still shows some moderate to hot temperatures in the south, close to 100 in Texas and 90s, but there is some 30s to high 20s Fahrenheit in the Rockies, so it's already cold in some high elevations. But does get very hot in California, some 90s, and from the mid-south during the afternoon this week, Tuesday, but still gets colder to the 30s during the night in the Rockies. So be aware, shows some 90s across the west, and so some 100s in Arizona still by Wednesday, some 90s the southeast, and still generally colder there in the Rockies. So be aware. And let's see, the 48-hour snow shows some in Wyoming and Colorado, especially in Colorado, some. So be careful. And for Canada, it does show like a similar thing. So in terms of storm systems, that big front in British Columbia and branching to southern Alaska, with some snow in northwestern Canada into Alaska. So does show more snow Tuesday, a few areas. Wednesday still show like another system, southern Alaska. And meanwhile, you can see that storm system in the US, as it progresses, there are the severe storms. Might bring some storms to southeastern Canada by Thursday afternoon and Friday, and more rain towards eastern Canada by Friday and Saturday, and some gusty winds. At the same time, shows another system, British Columbia Friday. So just monitor this system, especially for gusty winds, because shows today, Monday, in British Columbia and Alaska, some stronger gusts. With those storms, this goes a few spots near like southern Alaska by Wednesday because the other system, Yukon and everything, and does show Friday a low pressure possible in Quebec, with some higher gusts into Atlantic Canada. So we'll keep watching. Be aware of the snow spots in Alaska, Western Canada as well, and the Rockies, but shows already starting a lot there in the mountains in Alaska, into British Columbia and Yukon. So already be careful there. Northern Alaska, some snow as well. Northern Yukon into British Columbia, especially like central northern British Columbia. So be aware. Northwestern Territories a little bit into northern Quebec, possibly some and there in Colorado, Wyoming, a little bit. The Europeans even has to 10 inches next 5 days, 1 inch in a few spots. So be aware those areas and some rains, especially like southern British Columbia, close to 100, even 200 millimeters because of those fronts. So be aware in those areas and talking about rain, those storms in the Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, because the disturbance, be careful, and across Mexico, still to 100 meters, a few areas, be careful. Always be careful with flash flooding and thunderstorms across Mexico and Central America, and a few afternoon storms in the Caribbean and Cuba, especially like Hispaniola, a few passing showers and storms still present. And we'll keep monitoring those tropical waves and really monitor if you are in the Azores. So, and we'll talk more about the Azores in the Europe video too, so stay safe.